This is Margin Machine, where we follow the money behind AI. She was paying $3,200 a month for a virtual assistant. She replaced that role with a $47 AI stack, and the transition took one weekend. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how that math works, which tools, which tasks, what it actually costs to set up, and why the obvious objection, that AI can't really replace a person, turns out to be only half true. Welcome back to another side ledger. Let's start with what she was actually paying for. The VA was based in the Philippines, hired through a platform called onlinejobs.ph. 40 hours a week. $80 a week, roughly. That's the number people see and think, that's already cheap. But $80 a week is $3,200 a year, not a month. She was paying more than that. Her VA worked part-time at around $8 an hour, but logged closer to 20 hours a week on average. Do that math and you land at $640 a month. Then add the annual platform fee, Slack, Loom licenses she bought so they could communicate. All in, $820 a month, consistently. For an e-commerce content business doing around $6,000 a month in revenue, that's nearly 14% of gross going to one person. And here's the thing nobody talks about, most of those 20 hours were 5 recurring tasks. Same 5. Every single week. That detail is where this whole story turns. If you saw our video on the woman who made $4,200 a month editing podcasts with AI, you already know where this is going. Repetitive, structured tasks are exactly what AI workflows eat for breakfast. Her VA's 5 weekly tasks were, inbox triage and draft replies, scheduling social posts from a content calendar, transcribing and summarizing supplier calls, formatting blog posts into her CMS, and pulling weekly sales data into a reporting template. That's it. Those 5 things accounted for roughly 16 of the 20 weekly hours. The other 4 hours were miscellaneous, judgment calls, things that needed a real human read of a situation. Now here's the part nobody mentions. She didn't go looking for AI tools to replace her VA. She went looking for ways to take a 2-week vacation without her business stalling. The replacement idea came from mapping the tasks. And once she saw that list written out, the question changed from, can AI do this, to, why am I paying a human to do this? That reframe is worth sitting with. Because her next move surprised even her. She spent one Saturday building the workflow. No coding. No agency. Just her, a notes doc, and 3 tools. Tool 1, Claude, on the Pro plan at $20 a month. This handled inbox drafts, call summaries, and blog formatting. She fed it her brand voice guide once, saved it as a custom prompt, and it started drafting replies that sounded like her, not like a robot reading a template. Tool 2, a Zapier starter plan at $19.99 a month. This was the connective tissue. Zapier pulled new emails into Claude, pushed formatted posts to her scheduler, and dropped sales numbers into her Google Sheet report automatically. Tool 3, Otter.ai on the free tier. $0. It transcribed every supplier call and piped the transcript directly into her Zapier chain. Total monthly spend, $39.99. She rounded up to call it $47 because she upgraded Otter mid-month during a trial. Either way, she went from $820 a month to under $50. That's a saving of around $770 a month. Or just over $9,200 a year. On a $6,000 a month business, that's enormous. But here's where everyone gets this wrong, the savings number isn't actually the most interesting part of the ledger. She logged her setup hours. Obsessively. Because she'd read too many blog posts that said, set it up in an afternoon, and glossed over the reality. Here's what she actually tracked. Saturday, 6 hours building the Zapier chains, writing the Claude prompts, testing the inbox workflow. It broke twice. Sunday, 3 hours fixing edge cases, emails with attachments, supplier calls with heavy accents that confused Otter, a CMS field that Zapier couldn't map cleanly. Week 2, roughly 5 hours of micro adjustments as real emails came through and the prompts needed tuning. Total setup investment, around 14 hours across 2 weeks. At her own hourly rate, she values her time at $50 an hour based on what her business earns her. That's a $700 setup cost. One time. Amortized over a year, her real net saving in year 1 is around $8,500. Year 2. Almost the full $9,200. Now I want to ask you directly, would you spend a $700 weekend to save $9,200 a year? Tell me in the comments. Because the answer isn't as obvious as it sounds, and her answer changed halfway through the process. And that's when it gets weird. Here's the honest part of the ledger. Those 4 miscellaneous hours her VA handled every week. She couldn't automate them. One example, a long-term supplier sent a passive-aggressive email about a late payment. Her VA would have read the subtext, flagged it as a relationship risk, and suggested a phone call. Claude drafted a polite reply and moved on. The nuance was invisible to it. Another example, a brand partnership inquiry came in that looked like spam but wasn't. Her VA would have caught it. The AI filtered it to a low-priority folder. She almost missed a $2,400 deal. So she made a decision. She kept one freelancer, not a full VA, just a 3-hour-a-week inbox review contract, at $15 an hour. That's $180 a month added back. New total monthly spend, around $230. New annual saving versus the original setup, roughly $7,000. Still transformational. But the lesson is specific: AI doesn't replace judgment. It replaces repetition. Every business owner has a different ratio of those two things. Hers was about 80-20 in favor of repetition. Most knowledge work businesses reportedly sit somewhere between 60 and 75% repetitive tasks. The more you lean repetitive, the more this math works in your favor. And that ratio, it turns out, is something you can actually measure before you build a single workflow. Let's close the books cleanly. Old monthly cost, $820. New monthly cost, $230. Monthly saving, $590. Annualized, $7,080 in year 1 after accounting for setup time. Year 2 onwards, closer to $7,800, assuming no major tool price increases. Hours freed from management overhead. She used to spend about 3 hours a week managing her VA, answering questions, reviewing work, mostly gone. That's 12 hours a month handed back. She reinvested those hours into outbound partnership pitches. In the first 3 months post-transition, she reportedly landed 2 new content deals worth around $1,100 a month combined. So the real compounding effect of the switch isn't just the cost cut. It's what she did with the recovered time. That part never shows up in the "AI saves you money" headlines. But it's the most important line on the ledger. We follow the money here every week. Subscribe so you don't miss the next trail. Because the next question this story raises is one we haven't answered yet. Here's what we didn't cover: what happens when the AI tools raise their prices, or when Zapier changes its automation limits, which it has done before. There's a version of this story where the $47 stack quietly becomes a $180 stack in 18 months, and the math starts looking very different. If you want to know exactly how to stress test an AI workflow before you build it, so the economics don't collapse on you 6 months in, click the video on your screen right now.